Hello and welcome to My Take with John Britt. I am John Britt. So a little bit more than a year ago, schools closed. The country closed. There was a new disease, a pandemic that we really didn't know anything about. So it's been a year and we are now finally opening up schools. Now a lot of places had already had schools open, but it was not too many states that have. So majority of students have been looking at Zoom meetings for the last year. We know that that's an issue. We have evidence. How much do we know this is going to be an issue? We won't know. For 5 years, we won't know how much this affects our students. We won't have suicide data for at least 2 more years of how much that affects. We won't have the college dropout rate or the health issues or the mental health issues that have gone on with this. What we do know, though, is that for years, we were told as parents that your students missing school was detrimental to their education. If you missed 20% of attendance, you were sent to the student attendance review board. Got cool letters, had to go in, talk to everyone. It didn't matter what the reasoning was. Grandma died and you took 2 weeks? No, you only get a week. You have a mental issue? You only get a week. You had cancer and they still sent kids to make sure they did home hospital and did school. And so then all of a sudden we decided, well, is school that important? So my wife, years ago, there was a trip we took and we went to lots of museums. I mean, it was like my wife and my 5-year-old was just like, dude, we're done. So one time she's literally like, I don't want to walk anywhere. Just take a picture. It's the same. Now, we looked at it that moment and was like, it's not the same. How do you take a picture of something and say it's the same? How do we look at online schooling versus in-person schooling and go, it's the same? So President Biden opened and we said, we're going to have schools opened at least one time a week. One time a week. We're looking at 20%. So 20%, when we look at 20%, almost everything of that is terrible. Let's look at percentages of sports. Michael Jordan, probably the greatest basketball player to ever live, shot 49.6%. Ted Williams' best season was 406. And Ty Cobb, the greatest baseball hitter ever, hit 366. But then we get to academics and we go 70% is average. 80% is above average and 90% is excellent. 60% is below average and 50% is failing. So how do we look at it and go, ooh, 20% is good when the school systems themselves say anything below 59.5% is an F? So we either need to look at those and go, okay, maybe we should change that. Am I saying we need to change the whole academic grading system? That's a question that's above my pay grade. But I do know that when we look at it and we tell students that 20% is good enough, but you must have 60% to pass the class, that doesn't make that much sense. We do know that teaching unions and we don't know exactly what the outcome of everything is. So I agree that safety is a concern. But we've had a year. We know how the disease is handled now. We have vaccines. Why are we still having trouble opening up schools? A lot of people now look at it and go, well, there's not that much left of this school season. So let's just wait till the summer. Tell that to a senior that has missed their whole senior year that, it will just be easier. I don't know about you. I'm not really willing to do that because it's easier. I think it's time to be what we are. America is a great country and we have a good educational system that can be great, but we can't sit back and not do anything and just think it's going to get better. When we look at what's going on in San Diego, where teachers can go and teach migrants, which do need an education. I'm completely in agreement that they need an education. But how is it that a migrant in a facility can get in-person learning, but a 6th grader has to be told you have to be on Zoom? that doesn't compute, I think, with almost anyone. It doesn't make sense. How is it that the numbers of students with COVID are higher in that, but they can get in-person learning, where students that have a lower number get told you have to do Zoom? So when we're looking at the school education system, I think we can learn a lot from what's happened in the last year, what we can do to improve, what we can do to get better, and the way that we can make sure our students are competitive against other countries' students. America used to have the greatest education system, and I think we can do better to make that happen again. That's my take. Thank you for watching. Having a great, amazing day. Stay awesome.